This is a short video that I put together to show you how to get your computer set up to use Git, and then how to actually take a solution that you have in Visual Studio and upload that to your GitHub account. So to go from the very beginning, one of the things that you need to do right off the bat is to make sure that you have the Git technology installed on your Windows computer or your Macintosh computer. So I'm showing here the page to download Git for Windows. There's also a page to download Git for the Mac. In fact, let me see if I can just kind of get to that. Okay. And then you can see up here I have git-scm.com, and if you come down here, you'll see there's a downloads, and I have some options on my downloads, and this is my Windows download. It's already installed on my computer, so I'm not going to do that. So that's the first thing that you need to do. The next thing that you need to do, if you have not already done that, is to go to GitHub and create an account. Let me see if I can get to it. I already have an account, and it looks like I'm already logged in. And so let me go to something that would look familiar to what you would see. This is my 110 organization. So you've seen some of these things. Obviously, I've been practicing here. All right. And so once you have your GitHub account set up, the next thing that you need to do is to install the GitHub extension for Visual Studio. And so you can see up here it's visualstudio.github.com. Okay. So once you have those three things done, and I'll go through them again, the first thing that you need to do is install Git on your Windows or your Mac or your Linux machine. You need to create a GitHub account. I guess that's there. Okay. And then you also need to install the GitHub extension for Visual Studios. All right, Visual Studio. So let's go ahead and kind of go through the process. And this will be, I've already kind of installed all of the extensions on Visual Studio, and also my computer has been configured for, or I should say my Visual Studio has been configured for my GitHub account. The first time that you go through that, what you're going to find is that it's going to inquire as to your login and your password, and Visual Studio should, after that point, save that, and then from that point on, it should feel a lot like the process that I'm going to demonstrate right now. So let's go to File, and what we'll do is we'll create a new project, and we'll create a console app, and I'm just going to, for now, throw that on the desktop, and that'll allow me to delete it. And I'm actually going to call this test GitHub, like that. And something to notice is that down here in the lower right hand side, if this is the first time you've done this, you'll see that I suspect this will not be checked. So create a new Git repository. Checking this will create, so when Visual Studio goes through and it kind of creates its solution, it creates a folder, and when you check that, basically what you're doing is you're telling the Git technology that's been installed on your computer to turn that folder, the solution folder, into a Git repository. And as we've talked about in class, basically what that's saying is that we're just asking Git technology to pay attention to all the changes that occur in that folder, files in that folder, and the subfolders and files in those, and to record those changes. So I'm going to leave this unchecked for right now because I'll show you the other way to do that. So you can either check that here, or you can leave it unchecked, and you can open up the solution and then go to File, and if I click down the drop down, you'll see that I have a fourth option, which is Add Source Control. And clicking this is the same as actually checking that box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this and give it a little bit of time to kind of go out there and do what it needs to do. Looks like it did it. And now I'm going to go ahead and hit that again. Looks like maybe I didn't give it enough time. Here, we'll let it cook for a little bit. Come back, and there we go. Now it's aware that it has already installed Git, made the Git repository, a local repository. The other thing I'll do is I'll show you, I'm going to buzz right out here real quick, and you can see that here's my test GitHub solution. And if I go in here, this is just kind of an FYI, what's actually going on in those folders is that, or in a Git repo, is that when you make it a source control, or you apply source control to it, you'll see that you actually get a Git folder, Git. So there's a folder up here, and there are 2 files. Okay, so this folder and these 2 files are the resources that Git uses. Now, if I go back here and make some changes to this, so I'm going to just go ahead and do a little cdub, tab, and we'll just kind of go hello world, since that just seems to be the thing that we all do. Okay, so now I have my application, and let's say that I'm either done or I just feel it's time to put a version up there, and the term that we use is push. I come over here in my computer, you'll see Team Explorers right there. If you do not see your Team Explorer, you just need to go up here to View, and Team Explorer, there we go. And Team Explorer will be the second one. So I'm going to click on Team Explorer, and then I'm going to click on my little home up here. Okay, and then you'll see that I've got 4 options under mine. You may have different, like this may look different on yours depending upon when and what you installed. Excuse me, but there will be an option that's called Changes, and so what we're going to do is we're going to click on Changes, and the first time I do this, I always call it the initial push. Okay, again, pushing is the term for Git technology. It's the term for uploading. You can think of it like that. And you'll see that once I've done that, I have kind of a commit all here. So when I click on commit all, what it's going to do is remind me, hey, John, you've made some changes. I've paid attention to those changes, but you haven't saved them. Do you want to save them before? And sure, that sounds like a great idea. Let's go ahead and save those changes. Okay. Now, what that commit has done is it hasn't actually pushed it at this point. So it's still kind of stored on my computer. And if I go back, you'll see there's a kind of a sync up here, or I can go back home and you'll see that there's a sync. Okay, and now when I come back, you're gonna see these options. This is a different form or a different place to kind of save your source control. We have GitHub here, so if you installed the GitHub extension, you should be able to see GitHub here. If by chance you didn't see that, there's a different way to do that here, down here. But I would say if by chance you didn't see that, I would go back and make sure that I had GitHub installed, because it makes it a whole lot easier. So now when I publish to GitHub, and yours will look a little bit different in that I have my name here, and you're going to see that I actually have a number of, they're called organizations. They're kind of, it's a type of organizing all the different repos that I have. I'm going to go to CIT 110. You won't have to do that. And at this point, I can click on Publish. And if you look up here, you'll see it's working. Okay, and it says that test GitHub has been successfully created, and it's always a good idea to confirm that. So I think I'm logged in right here. So this is my CIT 110. That's the organization that I pushed it up to. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh it and double check, and sure enough, there's my test GitHub. And if I go in there, and there is my test GitHub solution. And I can click on program.cs, and you'll see that I've got my hello world. Now, I can do that periodically, and it makes a nice backup system. And so what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and go in here and change it from hello world to hello NMC. And I'm going to remember this time to save it, and I'm going to go back now to my Team Explorer, and I have some new changes that I want to push up there, and so I'll say NMC edit, and you can see as I type that in, the commit all lights up and makes that available. So I'm going to go ahead and click that, and now this time I'm actually going to click on sync right here. Alright, and so now I've come to this screen. So this, and you'll see this screen every time after the first commit. I'm sorry, after the first push, after you publish it the first time. And so you'll see down here I have outgoing commits. Okay, so when I actually save those changes, what I'm doing is I'm kind of saving a file that is a commit, and that stores all the information for those changes, and that allows Git to actually let me step back to an older version. So I'm all set, and if I go over here you'll see there's a push, so I'm going to go ahead and push. You look up here, let me see, oops, did I miss my push? Let's try it one more time. There we go. And you'll see successfully pushed. All set. I'm not sure why it's still working. It said it was done. And now I'll go back to my GitHub account, and I'm going to go into my repo. I'm already there. There's my program.cs. This is the one that I pushed up before. I'm going to go ahead and refresh that, and if I take a look now, you'll see that I have NMC. So that's the process, and hopefully this is helpful. Wishing you a good day.